Hey there, welcome back. It's the 10th year of the American football pyramid having a 7-tier pyramid thing going on. So welcome back to this experiment. Before we hop into the details, I want to give a shout out. There's been a ton of you that have subscribed because you came in on the first episode of this experiment. And I want to let you know, this is going to be the last one of the 7-tier pyramid experiment, but I have more experiments coming on the channel that I want to run by you, kind of get your thoughts, a little sneak peek, if you will. The first one is going to be something called Winners Wipeout, which is I'm going to look at various leagues in the world, and the winning team is going to have their bank balance wiped out at the beginning of the next season after they've won the championship. And the funds in their account is going to be distributed to the rest of the league. So, for example, last year, Chelsea won the Premier League. We take their entire bank balance and give it away to the other teams in the Premier League and kind of see if does that do anything? Does that disrupt the hierarchy in the Premier League? Or do they get so much from like selling players or from sponsorships or whatever that it really doesn't even matter? Does it help those smaller teams stay up? So stay tuned for that. I'm also going to be doing a Wonder Kids series within America where we take at least one. I'm thinking about doing more than one Wonder Kids, and we set them into the American football universe and we see what happens to them. Does it hold them back? I'm thinking about doing one in current form with MLS and NPSL and all that kind of stuff, and then doing a separate one with this database where we have a 7-tier American football pyramid. And we plant some Wonder Kids in it. Do they get discovered? Do they move through the ranks? Or do they get, are they too far down where they can't get noticed? So make sure you stay tuned for that. If you're new around here, make sure you go back and watch, year 1, year 2, and year 5 of this experiment and hit the subscribe button below. But now, what we're going to do today is look at current, 10 years in the future, who is in what division, how did we get there, look at some major transfers, and look at the U.S. men's national team. That's going to be the last thing we look at the end of the episode, so make sure you stay and watch the whole thing. So we're starting, as always, in the American 7th Division. You can see the Texas Rush, PA Classics, Miami Athletic have escaped on 93, 93, and 95 points. That's absurd. Southern California Seahorses have fallen quite hard. I looked at them because the name was... It rung out to me. I was like, I've looked at that before. So they have fallen straight down to the bottom tier and pretty much stayed there. 8 points, negative 71 goal differential. That's a bit rough. So again, we're going to take a look at each division, and then we'll go back and look at the past winners and kind of how the teams moved around and all that kind of stuff. So this is the current season. All right, let's go to the 6th division. You got the Carolina Dynamo, the Evergreen Diplomats, and the Texans of Houston going up. Looks like goal differential being the difference there versus Bridgeport International. Tough break for them because they have the exact same record. And then Ventura County, Mississippi Brilla, and Burlingame are going down. Negative 45 and 46 goal differential. Quite rough. All right, 5th division, Greater Lau. I had a comment. Someone was asking about Lau. That's the only Lau that I've got here, so they made it here. We also had somebody comment about ZPA Perth. That play at their high school. So, hey man, they're in the 5th division. So have they made their way up? Yes, they have. They started out in the 7th, and then they moved up to the 6th, and it looks like a back-to-back promotion for them. So congrats to them. You've got Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati, the potential MLS entrance team, going down. They have fallen quite hard. They started in the 3rd division, went up, and then they have mismanaged their way all the way down to the 5th division, soon to be the 6th division. Unbelievable. But you got the San Francisco Deltas, who also fell quite hard. Again, I'm kind of looking ahead here. So they're in the 2nd tier, and then they went straight down. They finally kind of stabilized themselves and gone back up. Hartford City, anybody else? Scott Gallagher, who is Josh Sargent's academy, I guess, is all right. They were in the 7th tier, so they've gotten themselves promoted twice. So that's where we're at there. In the 4th division, you've got Long Island, Rio Grande Valley, Phoenix going up. You got LAFC is going to be in the 5th division. They have fallen on hard times. They had 2 years in the 2nd division, and then they just kind of piddled along in the 3rd division before falling off. They're still rich. Local reputation, though. That's kind of all of these teams affect their reputation / because of what's going on with the database, but my goodness. And Real Colorado and FC Golden State. Sacramento here. Starting out in the 3rd division, popping up, going kind of bouncing back and forth a little bit. Richmond Kickers, who started off in the 3rd division, got, what, 2 or 3 seasons, I guess is what it was. 2 seasons in the 2nd division before dropping down. They've kind of fallen down a bit. Total Soccer Show guys will be sad about that. All right, let's look at the 3rd division. Philadelphia Union jumps out. Okay, we've looked at the Brooklyn Italians because they'd made quite a run, quite the promotion run, and they stabilized up there in the 3rd division, finally going back down. But that was a great run for them. Puerto Rico going down. DC United in the 3rd division. That doesn't really surprise you based on this past season's actual results. FC Dallas, that is a bit surprising to me. Kind of going up, down, up, down, up, down. And I want to say that's the one. Louisville there. All right. Let's see. What do we got in the 2nd division? You've got Ottawa. Is this a playoff? Is that why they're not going up, I guess? St. Louis, Providence City. You got the Houston Dynamo. Indy 11 have come back down. Miami, Colorado City going down to the 3rd division. North Carolina FC, the former Railhawks, going down to the 3rd division. So is it mostly faces we know? Toronto, Portland, bunch. The database seemed to have favored Portland and Toronto and Atlanta, although Atlanta's in 10th. So let's see what's going on here. What's the first team that kind of surprises? Minnesota in 5th. After this past season, Minnesota United fans would be happy with that. Columbus Crew, soon to be the Austin Crew. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. LA Galaxy. Tulsa in 17th. Chicago Fire, Real Salt Lake, San Antonio, Rochester, Edmonton. All right, so let's take a look. Let's go back and just look. I'm not going to go back and look at every single season, but let's look at the past winners, I suppose. So Toronto winning it, 5 years running. Not bad. Not bad. Portland up there. Portland, after winning it 4 years in a row, came in 3rd and then kind of disappeared until this last season coming as the runner-up. Atlanta United, same thing, kind of had a nice little run, and then they've kind of disappeared a little bit. So it's kind of diversified our 2nd and 3rd place teams. Definitely not the 1st place team. All right, let's go down. Ottawa winning it. My goodness. How do you win it that many years in a row? Maybe they are someone's affiliate, and that's why they can't. Let's look at that. Why can't they go up? They're going up. I don't know what's happened there. Huh. So maybe that's a glitch in the database where they've won it all those years in a row and have not gone up. That's a bit strange. So we're finding things aren't exactly perfect in this database. So let's see if it's the same with the other ones. No, the other ones are correct. So Beachside, Western Mass, Providence City, Harrisburg, FC Dallas winning the 3rd division. Sorry, Ottawa fans. I don't know what happened there. 4th division, Long Island, Beachside, Fort Lauderdale, LA Legends. All right. San Francisco, if I can get that out, please. Deltas. All right, there's those Brooklyn Italians again. All right, so if you want to go back and look at specific ones, you can go back and pause it. I want to look at the transfer history just to see if there's anything crazy that's happened. Let's look at, no, I want to look at, can I look at all of the history? How do I know I've done that before. Yes. Okay, I guess we'll just look at it by season. Oh, someone in the 7th division sold somebody. I don't know how many times that's happened. So 2.8 grand. It's in euros. My other saves have been in euros. So you can do the math. You get the idea. So that's of the last several years, that's the one sale that has been for dollars. Okay, 6th division has a sale for dollars. Maybe they're starting to get some money. They got one sale here the season before. So usually not much happening. 4.6K, Jeremy Black to the LA Galaxy from FC Golden State. A bit of a pickup. Did he work out? I'm just kind of curious. No. No, he did not. Or no, they bought him from the LA Galaxy. He did okay. All right, I was just kind of curious. Let's take a look here. Going back in history. Nope. We've already looked that far. All right, let's go back to the 5th division. Oh, they sold some players here. From Puerto Rico to FC Cincinnati, Carlos Lopez. I mean, for the 5th division, that's a massive amount of money, I feel, considering the other seasons it was not this way. So it looks like the money has started in the 10th year to start to flow down. Not crazy, but the fact that you could see this growing over the last 5 years. You had 1 sale, 4 sales, what was it 6, 7 sales, 10, 12 sales, something like that. And then actual dollars. Maybe it's starting to spread throughout the tiers here. 4th division, $245,000 for David Jackson from LA Galaxy 2 to Richmond Kickers. $215,000 from LAFC to the Patriotas FC. Interesting. Billy Smith from the Brooklyn Italians to Long Island. I kind of like the Brooklyn Italians. It's got a nice little ring to it. But again, you see the dollars are jumping up here. Okay, but here in the 4th division, we had some big money being spent a couple years back. So that's interesting. So it's kind of fluctuated, but it looks like there is a bit of money that's starting to hit. $500,000 for Harley Johnson going from Philly Union to Sheffield United. So we have an international sale here. That's exciting. Everything else, $195,000 rising to $300,000. Let's go back. $250,000 from Charlotte to New York Red Bulls. $750,000, quite nice. New York Red Bulls to Providence City FC. That's some splashing of the big cash. And then $84,000. So again, you don't have a full page of transfers, but we're getting there, and the dollars are going up. Okay, $1.5 million. Alan Cabral from Tampa Bay. What's his history look like? Okay, he's a regen player, so no one's going to know him. But going from Tampa Bay to Rochester for 1.5, rising to 1.9 million euros. $450,000 from Tampa Bay to the New England Revolution. Let's go back a couple years. $825 rising to $1 million. Okay. Unao de Liria. Nice. 1.1 million to the Vancouver Whitecaps. James Pitchcolan. 2.3 million for Andrew Lee. Is he a regen? Yes, he is. Hey, he did all right. Wait, that was for the San Jose Earthquakes. Yeah, he did. I don't think they got their value. They sold him on a free. It's not the best business. Ethan Hagen, DC United to San Jose Earthquakes. So San Jose was spending some cash here. All right, let's look at the 1st division. I just want to go back first. So 4.2, I want to see the biggest signing of the last 5 years because we already had a 5-year snapshot. 4.2, 2, 4.1, 14.5 for Andy McBride. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 5. Yes. So the biggest sale comes back here, 14.5 million. Then 8.75 million, 8.5, a lot of money being spent, and then it drops off significantly. That's okay because it's. I was like, those numbers are reversed, but it's got because it can rise to that much. All right, 2 million. Again, if you want to see any of these in greater detail, make sure you pause it so you can go back and look at it yourself. All right, so decent amount of money being spent. So let's go look at the good old US of A. Has this helped or hindered our world ranking? So let's go back. We started off in 28th place way back in September 2017. Rising to 15th. Ooh, height of 11th. We'll have to see what happened there. That's around the World Cup-ish time. Then a significant drop-off down to a low of 55th. Darkness, bad times, kind of like it is right now for the U.S. men's national team. And then a fairly quick rise back up to 13th. Tab Ramos is the head coach. Let's look at who the head coaches have been. Greg Berhalter had been the head coach starting in July. He resigned, got 2 cup wins. Nice. And then Tab Ramos finally got promoted in 2023 to take over. I'm trying to see what the easiest way to look. I guess we'll just look at the schedule year by year. 2027. So it's Gold Cup. We don't care about that. World Cup. Made the World Cup. All right. In 2026, we made the World Cup. Where was it hosted? Mexico hosted all of the games, so they just gave it to Mexico. Interesting. So made it to the second round, and of course, our friends across the pond, England, knock us out after we get a group with Iraq, Poland, and Portugal. The draw with Portugal, you could argue, the height of that group, even though you didn't win. You won the other two games quite handily. And then losing on an own goal, and then Harry Kane getting a winner. Interesting. So let's go back here. Confederations Cup, Group B. Didn't make it, I guess, out of the group stage in the Confederations Cup. Played Australia, Argentina, and Italy. Quite the tough group, you could argue. You could take a look at the other results there. Let's go back. That's all qualifiers. We already know what happened there. Gold Cup. Made it to the quarterfinals. Lost to Canada. Canada has come in the Gold Cup. Oh my goodness. That's unbelievable. And then won in the Confederations Cup playoff, which, okay, things. 2022, made the World Cup in 2022. And made it to the second round somehow, even though losing to Belgium and drawing with Poland and beating Cameroon narrowly on a 3-2 victory. And then losing to Spain. I mean, you lost to Spain. That's going to happen. Those games were in Canada. So Canada and Mexico got a World Cup. That's quite interesting. Let's go back. Gold Cup final. Won the Gold Cup in 2021 over Mexico. Not a lot of happy fans down south of the border of us here. Let's go back. Qualifying. Made it to the semifinals of the Gold Cup. Lost to Mexico. All right, you had a sending off in the 51st minute, and you gave up a 90th minute winner, so that's a bit gutting. And then, sad days. We actually made the World Cup in this, and to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, losing to Brazil, beating Portugal on penalties, Bobby Wood getting an equalizer in the 120th minute, Cristiano Ronaldo getting what he thought was a winner in the 112th minute. Oh, that makes it somehow worse. That you beat Germany, you lose to Denmark, you draw with Senegal, and you beat Germany and Portugal to play Brazil in the quarterfinal and lose. So that's what's happened in the United States in the last 10 years of this save and the database that we had instituted. Again, I'm not sure what happened with the Ottawa thing. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I've waffled on now for about 17 and a half minutes. Again, we are going to have more experiments coming on the channel. I also plan to do a video on the 11th of January where I talk about how I plan to schedule all the various series that I have running on the channel right now and getting those experiments in there. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If there's something that I've missed that you wanted to see, make sure you leave a comment. I'll be glad to look it up in the database and drop you a comment back. But if you've enjoyed this, hit the like button. By now, there's stuff popping up around here. I'd love if you'd give those things a watch or a click. And thanks to my patrons for supporting the channel. You guys have been amazing. We'll see you in the next experiment. Have a good one.